Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how I do a patina slash crackle using the Dixie Belle products. We're going to start with Slick Stick. I'm going to shake it up really well and put it into a little bitty cup. You don't need a whole lot, just enough to cover your bottom of your cup maybe. Take a Crafter's Choice brush. You can get these at Walmart in a multi-pack by the acrylic paints, and they're really good for base coating. And we're just going to start painting it. I've got the video sped up just because this was going to be like 45 minutes long, and I didn't want to make you guys have to sit here through that whole thing. Okay, now that we have the whole cup covered evenly, we're going to let it dry, and then we're going to do the prime start. Same brush, same thing, just put some in a little cup and get a good even coat over your Slick Stick. Okay, and same thing, we're going to let this dry now that we've got it all covered. Nice and even. Just let it dry, and then we'll come back and add the patina paints. Now we're going to do the fun part. You can use one of the three colors, or you can use all three. I personally like using all three colors. I use a sponge to apply them. You can get the sponges at Michael's or Hobby Lobby, wherever. Just cut them up in small pieces. Shake your paints up really well. And again, I put them into little bitty cups to start with. It just makes it easier that way, and you're not contaminating your paint. That's why I like the squeeze bottles. I don't have to worry about anything mixing, and if it does mix, it's in a cup, it's not in my actual paint. Take your little sponge and just start dabbing your colors on randomly. Sorry that I keep going off camera, it's kind of hard to do the bottom in the view of the camera. Just bear with me, guys. Once you have your first layer of paint on, you're going to set it off to the side and let that dry. Don't touch it until it's dry. It doesn't take very long. Next thing you're going to do is go back over all of those paints with the same colors. You don't have to get them exact, just put them where you think they go, and then we're going to spray it. I normally do my spraying outside or in the garage, but for the sake of the video and because I don't want to move my entire setup, I've covered everything with a plastic tablecloth, and I'm going to spray in the house. One thing I have noticed is if I put the paint on a little bit thicker before I spray, it will show more color. So that's always an idea if you don't get enough color from your patinas. Also, if you're spraying this in the house, please use a respirator. Use a respirator if you're doing it outside, because this stuff can probably be pretty harmful to you. Make sure you're spraying your patinas while they're still wet, and then set it off to the side and let it do its thing. If you want to add a little more spray, go ahead, but let it process for at least 6 to 8 hours. I usually let mine process overnight because I get distracted and have other things to do than sit there and wait. Don't rush it. I promise it's worth it. And here's what we have so far. I'm going to go back in with copper and bronze just because I want a little more of the blue color, and then I'll hit those with the blue spray this time. But this time I'm going to dab the blue spray on instead of spraying it like I did with the green. Again, do this while it's still wet and then give it time to process. Keep in mind that you don't have to dab these. You can use a brush to apply the paints, and you can just regularly spray the patina on there and on either the first or the second layer. I just like the texture that I get from dabbing. And now to add the Crackle on, just open up your jar and give it a good stir. I don't recommend shaking this one. It's very thick, so just stir it really well with a big popsicle stick or something. And if you're wondering why I have the press and seal on there, it's because I can't hardly open the jar if I don't have it on there, because it's like it glues itself shut. So I just use the little short chip brushes. You can use whatever kind of brush you want. And I'm just going to apply this wherever I think I want the decal to go. Just do quick strokes back and forth. Again, this video is sped up. And I'll usually do a main spot in the center of the cup, and then I'll find a couple of other places that I want to add it. This time I only added it to one other spot, but you'll see me debate if I'm going to add any more or not. Once you get the Crackle where you want it, just set your cup off to the side again and let it dry. I usually let it dry for at least 2 to 3 hours. It may be dry faster than that, but that's just usually how my schedule works out. And then we'll come back and we'll put the white Fluff paint over top of it. This time we're going to use a sponge again, and we're just going to dab the paint over the spots where we had the Crackle. And here's how it will look after your paint has dried. What I will do now is spray it twice very lightly with triple thick spray from Krylon, and I will let it dry in between each coat. Don't oversaturate it, and then once it has completely dried, I will coat it with Quick Coat from Counterculture DIY. Again, don't oversaturate your patina or you will lose a lot of color. If you like those blues and greens, you want to keep your coats very, very light. I had a couple of spots that I want a little extra color in, so this time around I'm going to take some vintage duck egg from Dixie Belle and some moonshine metallics in steel magnolia and add it to my cup. Once I'm done with that, I will seal again with the counterculture quick coat, and then we'll move on to epoxy. And now that everything has completely dried, I've moved on to epoxy. I mixed up about 15 to 20 milliliters for this 20-ounce skinny. I added just a touch of glitter to give it a little sparkle, and that's it. Once that's all on there and smooth, I will let it do its thing and let it cure, and it'll be ready for a decal. If anybody has any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Thanks guys for watching, and I will see you later.